Hello and welcome. My name is Paul, and today's topic is the Lario base cabinet front pullout. Here once again is the almost complete Lario family. We have the versions for widths of 150 and 200 mm, and the version for 300 and 400 mm. The 400 version is also available in a so-called 3-tier version, meaning we don't have 2 shelves, we have 3 shelves. Now let's take a look at the Lario 200 version, and as we can clearly see, this is a disassembled version, which naturally has much less volume in its packaging. And next is the assembly. First, a quick look at the contents, that's what I'll show you now. Of course, we find the installation instructions. 2 cover caps. We have the front fixing bracket, a hardware bag containing the screws for the front fixing and the adjustment screws. We have 2 small caps here, used to secure the quadro to the C-hook at the rear. We have a support profile, and of course the steel shelves. With the steel shelves, we also have 2 inlay mats, the so-called non-slip mats. A quick note here as well, the color of the front pullouts is identical to our drawer system. In this case a Hettich, so it matches perfectly and creates a harmonious look in the kitchen. First, I start with the connecting bar. I connect it to the shelves. This is quite simple, insert it here, then press it down. I do the same with the second shelf, and then the basic construction is already assembled. After attaching the connecting bar, we also need to fix it. We do that with 2 screws and 2 nuts. Here we see 2 holes. Simply insert the screws, hold the nuts in place, and tighten everything. Now we need to place these small black caps on here. We have 4 positions for them. It now depends on how you position your runner, whether you mount it diagonally like this, diagonally like that, or only on one side. That is also possible inside the cabinet. Because these little caps ensure that the C-hook on the quadro runner has grip and a secure fit. Here you can clearly see the screws where I attached the crossbar. And finally, we still have our inlay mats, they are already pre-cut. Fit perfectly inside, and prevent anything from sliding around in the shelves. Here is the Lario 200 in the wider version. As we can clearly see, we have a total of 4 cross braces here. One major difference is that we attach 2 quadro runners to the upper shelf, and that's how the assembly is done. Let's now look at the details of the Lario family. What I have here on the table are the different versions. We have the 400 version, this one with the flat railing in anthracite or chrome. And we have the 100 version, this is the round railing. You can also see that the parts are already pre-assembled as shown here. This is a difference compared to the 200 version. Here we have a truly pre-assembled version. Of course, we have a few loose components, these are the front fixings and the dividers, which can also be purchased separately. Front fixing, a good topic. Here shown already pre-mounted on the front panel, and I use these various screws for adjustment. I mentioned that earlier. We have 3D adjustment, meaning we can adjust the tilt, various directions, and of course depth and height. Lario works with our quadro runner, the V6 in the soft closing version. What's important for you now? You must order this runner separately. The quadro is available in 3 different widths. These installation widths depend on the thickness of your cabinet side. So depending on the cabinet side thickness, you choose the narrow, medium, or wide quadro. So, these must be ordered separately, everything else is a set. What you can see very clearly here, the quadro is installed in a diagonal configuration. You can do it this way, but you don't have to. For example, you can mount both quadros on one side, or choose the diagonal in the opposite direction. It's completely up to you, whatever is best for your application. Here is the steel shelf version 200. There are 2 different widths. Everything is already pre-assembled. I'll show you the detailed assembly steps a little later. Now let's take a look at the other version. Here we have the 400 version with the flat railing. The difference from the version shown earlier. Fully pre-assembled, meaning the frame with the flat railing baskets is already pre-assembled. What you still need to assemble are the small dividers. These brackets, 4 pieces, are always included. You can reorder them individually. The shelves are simply clipped in, but they are also pre-assembled. What still needs to be mounted are the front fixings, but I will show that in detail later. Now for installation, place the front pull-out onto the runner, close everything, and it engages automatically and is then secured. We should definitely mention that there is a 2-tier and a 3-tier version. And these can of course also be combined to create a tall cabinet solution. They are screwed behind the front panel, creating the appearance of a single unified fitting. For an optimal alignment of gaps and front panels, all Lario versions can be adjusted. We have what is called 3D adjustment. What does that mean? We can adjust sideways, we can adjust height, and we can adjust the tilt, both vertically and horizontally. There is a cover cap here. When we remove it, we access the adjustment screws, which allow us to move the front panel. We can tilt the front. We can pull it closer. And we can also adjust vertically. And, as mentioned, depth and height. The Lario family also includes the wider versions. What does that mean? For cabinet widths of 300 and 400 mm. Of course, we also have the steel shelf version and the flat railing version. Installation here is a bit different. How the runners work in this version, I'll show you in detail next. For installation, place the shelf onto the runner and close everything. It engages automatically. Here is a quick look at the removal. Very simple. Pull it out and just lift it off. What many probably wouldn't expect, for this version, we only need one set of quadro runners. These quadros are mounted in the upper area of the cabinet. Please don't mount them diagonally as with the narrow versions, but always in pairs side by side. As mentioned, in the upper area, and then it's quickly done. That's it for today. Please also watch the other videos about our interior fittings. Goodbye, and see you next time.